We've been around, and that means we've been inside over 150 organizations, 50% of them nonprofit, 25% of them in the private sector, and 25% in the government. And we've touched over 50,000 individuals. And my passion has always been about outcomes and getting results. And over this time span, that it has become very focused on bringing out the best in individuals and organizations so that we can really live our best lives now. In the spirit of being outcomes focused, here are the outcomes for the session this evening. I want you to walk away being very clear about these three things. The first one is that you can actually control your speed. So if you want to go fast, there's some things that you can do in order to go faster. There are some things that influence your speed. And I want you to walk away recognizing the three top influencers of your speed. And the third thing is that I want you to walk away having some strategies that you can use on how you can actually accelerate so that you can go faster towards your goals. Now, I became fascinated with speed really at birth. You'll see it says the birthplace of NASCAR. Well, speed was actually born in my hometown of Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm an only child, and my dad used to always make sure that I spent time with him watching the cars race fast around the Daytona Beach Speedway. And many of you probably have heard of the Daytona 500. And it was there that I really loved fast. I wanted to go fast. I wanted to be in places that went fast. I wanted to be around people who went fast. I wanted to do things fast. So I just loved the idea of fast. But you also see that Daytona has a beautiful beach. And the people that know me know that I would say that's my happy place. Now, look at the beach in Daytona. You can actually drive on it and you can see there's a speed limit, and you'll see it says 10 miles per hour, which means that when you're on the beach, the cars are moving fairly slow. Now, I have come to appreciate that slow can sometimes relate to fast. In other words, you can go slow so that you can refresh and you can recharge, which then allows you to be able to go fast again and move even faster. So slow and fast does work together, and we're going to find out more about that tonight. Speed. What do we mean when we talk about speed? So on the same page, speed is focused on the rate at which someone or something is able to move or operate. So tonight I want you to think about the rate at which you are moving towards your goals. Now, I'm not going to make a judgment about your goals because we're going to assume that your goals are the right goals for now. I do want you to look at the slide that says your goals should be SMART, because there's some characteristics about goals that will make sure they're your best goals. And some of you have probably heard SMART. And so I'm going to ask you right now if you would type in the chat box a goal you have that you want to achieve faster. So if everybody would just type in a goal that you're interested in, making sure that you can achieve it fast. And I want you to use that goal for the rest of the webinar so that we're using the goal, and I want you to relate the information to a particular goal so that you're thinking about the information as it relates to you. So if you don't put it in the chat box, if you will also make sure you have a sheet of paper somewhere nearby and you're jotting down, here's the goal that I want to focus on throughout this webinar. So I would like to sort of see your goals so that I can also relate some of the information to your goals. So as you're typing in your goal, there are a couple of things that is really important to frame our understanding of speed. The first thing is that when we think about typically measuring speed, we're looking at distance over time. And therein marks the very most important word for you for the evening, time. What we know is that there's 60 seconds in a minute. And if we think about our entire day, it means we have 86,400 seconds. So if we want to move fast towards our goals, we want to make sure that we're making each moment in our day count so that we can achieve that goal as quickly as possible. Now, what we also know is that there are distractions that are constantly impacting us, and those distractions can slow us down. And in fact, those distractions can also cause us to get off track and redirect our focus on things that aren't related to our goals. Last month, I did a webinar that focused on 5 strategies to eliminate distractions. And if you haven't seen it, I would recommend that you look at it, because that's a whole nother area that you want to work on, because you want to make sure that you're not being distracted. The third thing that I want you to think about regarding speed is efficiency. And efficiency becomes a process in which you are constantly looking for ways to make improvement. Now, I didn't always value efficiency, but when I was working on my doctorate, I was working with a man who had a stroke. And after 3 years into the therapy program, he was still unable to communicate. He understood what others were saying to him, but when he tried to express himself, it came out like gibberish. And so, no one else was able to understand him, and he was very frustrated. I had an opportunity to meet someone who had done some innovative new research for working with these kinds of patients and had a new treatment strategy. And so I thought, let's try it with Mr. W. And after trying the strategy with him, guess what? He started talking. Well, I got so excited. So did he. So did his wife. And I was saying to my professor, wow, look, this strategy is really working. And he said, well, not so fast, Pat. We've got to sort of measure to see whether or not it's really the strategy. And so what we did was we really looked at that strategy, and we looked at the strategy that you would typically use, and we were able to see that he was able to talk better when we used the new strategy. When we brought in the old strategy, because if the new strategy was really working, he should still be talking with the old strategy. And he was, but his talking increased when we went to the new strategy. So every time we went to the new strategy, his speech improved greater. Well, that became the first time that I went, aha, well, I might be doing something and it might be getting results, but I might try doing something differently and I could get those results faster. And so it means that we should constantly look at how we're doing things and not assume that because we got a result, that was the best way of doing it. And if we want to get faster, I bet we can find there are always ways in our processes that we can do things to speed up our ability to accomplish our goals. So efficiency is a new buzzword that I want you to be constantly focusing on. The fourth thing is, once we've spent time, we can't get it back. So if it's 30 minutes into the day and we've been off talking and chatting with someone in the office about who knows what, we can't get that 30 minutes back. And finally, which I think is the most important point, is that each of us are here on an assignment, and we have a finite time to accomplish that assignment, but we don't know how much time we have. And therefore, we have to make sure that we're making the best use of our time. Bottom line, time matters. And what we want to make sure is that at the end of the day, time hasn't run out and we haven't been able to accomplish the things that we hoped we could. So we don't want time to run out and you don't accomplish the things that you need to do each and every day towards your goals so that you can get where you want to go. I see there's some of you that have a book that you want to complete. I see somebody's trying to make sure you get a certification, complete your master's degrees. So all of those things mean we want to make sure that we are making the best use of our time. Now, in my outcomes research, I found two important things. One was that there are 4 characteristics that we need to focus on if we want to get extraordinary results. And those 4 characteristics come together in my cute acronym called B.E.S.T. So when I talk about best tips, when I talk about a best life, when I talk about a best day, it all has specific meaning. The second piece of the research focused on speed, and I found that there were 6 influencers impacting our speed and whether or not we were able to achieve extraordinary results. Now, quickly, I just want to, I'm not going to spend any time on this, but B.E.S.T is focusing on 4 different areas. So BRIGHT is focusing on image. When you focus on your image, the outcome is that you're able to you can attract people or funders or friends, job. Excellence is about standards. When we focus on standards, we grow. Satisfaction focuses on expectations, meeting needs of yours and others, and you get energy. And T is about being timely, and it's focusing on deadlines. And people who are very focused and disciplined on time are able to seize opportunities. So there's a lot that we could talk about. That's another broadcast. In fact, next month, I'm going to be talking about your best superpowers. So you might want to come back and check that out. But tonight, I want to direct your attention to what I found out about speed. So there's 6 influencers that impact your speed: your environment, relationships, mindset, whether you're balanced or not, your communication, and celebration. Now, regardless to whether you are conscious about these influencers or doing anything, they are having an influence on your speed, on your time. And here's what's happening. Sometimes they're influencing you in a way that's causing you to go slower than you may need to. Other times they're influencing you where you're racing faster than you need to. And sometimes these influencers cause you to get stuck. You stall and you're really not moving forward fast, or you're not going slow. You're just stuck. So are you ready to find out my 3 best tips around these influencers? Not all 6, but the 3 that I think will get you moving faster right away. So let's check them out. Here's the first tip. The first tip is set your environment. Set your environment. The environment has the greatest influence because that's where you spend most of your time. Think about it. Now, your environment also is multiple locations. So most of us, we probably would say there are 2 places that we need to pay attention to: our home and our workplace. Now, here's why environment is important. In order to go fast, you have to maintain consistent focus. And if you're in an environment that is not facilitating focus on your goals, then the likelihood that you're going fast towards your goal is probably less likely. The second thing about your environment is you want to make sure in that environment you have the tools, the resources, so that you can go as fast as you would like. That's capacity. Your environment can facilitate your capacity. Energy comes from your environment, believe it or not. And we're going to explore that. And we need energy to be productive so that we can go fast. And then there's that process of efficiency that also needs to be explored in your environment. So you're going to want to set your environment, and each of you will set your environment differently because you're going to have different needs. So let's see what you need to do first in order to get ready to set your environment. I want you to go back to your goals. So the person that was thinking about writing, that you've got this book that you want to finish, I want you to think about, what do you have in your environment that's reminding you about this book that needs to be finished? What about the person who's trying to get a certification? What is in your environment that is reminding you about this certification? If you're trying to get that master's degree, what do you have in your environment to remind you of that? I want you to think about home, and I want you to think about your workplace. I want you to think about what is around you that's reminding you of your goal. I want you to think second about what kind of reminders you have. Are these reminders significant? Are they making sure that you pay attention and you can't miss it? That, yep, that's right, there's that book. How about a cover of the book? When I was writing my book, that's what I had right up on my mirror, a cover of the book, so that every time I was looking in the mirror, I saw my book cover, and it reminded me that I needed to make sure that I made that book come to fruition. So think about it. What do you have around? And then where do you need to place things? Because it's great if you have a reminder up, but if it's not in all the places that it needs to be, because remember, we want to stay focused. We don't want all the other things to get in the way of us remembering what's really important to us. So think about that. Where, what are you going to put in your environment to set your environment so that you can stay focused? Well, I'm going to take you into a picture inside my environment. And this is inside home. And so you'll see it looks like a vision board, and it's on a wall, and it's right in my bedroom. So when I wake up in the morning, when I open my eyes, and when I look across from me, that's what I see. And it reminds me of some goals that I have. That woman that's in the center there with her hands around the globe, it says, live your best life. And it reminds me that I want to help people all around the world live their best life. And there are other things that are there to remind me, first thing, this is what I am interested in making sure I achieve before I get off into the world of, all the other stuff that's going on. Look at my table, when I get ready to sit down to eat something first thing in the morning, it says, best day ever. So right away, I get into a reminder about making sure that I'm thinking about best throughout the day. So think about different locations. Everywhere there is something about best that's reminding me in important places that I'm going to be, so that I don't forget that this is what I'm focusing on. No matter what else is going on, this is what's most important to me. Well, let's look at the workplace. In my work environment, my workstation, you'll see it says, be the best version of you. So that sits right where I'm working. And it reminds me to be my best, because my focus is not being the best, but it's always focusing on just being my best. So you can't tell what that's sitting on, but that's really a race car. And it's from Daytona. and it's sitting on top of that. So it's reminding me not only to be my best, but fast. So the car is there to remind me that I want to go fast to being my best. And then you'll see there are all these cards that are just all strewn out on this table that I have. And at the bottom, it says, keep your focus on your goals. And then there are all these cards. And those cards are thank you cards. They're cards that I've gotten from people that have thanked me about something that related to how I might have helped them. And that inspires me because, again, it's like a tangible reminder that I helped somebody and here's what it meant to them. And it inspires me to keep going. So you want to think about different things that you can do, pictures, just different things, any ideas that you have, if you'll just type them in, of something that you can, that you have, that you want to make sure you maybe put it in a different place or something that is going to help you. And remember, you want to carry it everywhere. You want to make sure that you don't get to work and whatever the goal is, you no longer have anything there because now you're just sort of bombarded by all of your thoughts around whatever it is you're working on. When your goal is there, you'll be surprised that you'll begin to find connections between your work and your goal. You'll start seeing things that relate to that, or you'll make sure you carve time out to do things that relate to your goal. So chat in if you've got an idea about something that you can do, that you can set your environment to help you to stay focused. While you're thinking about it, let's talk about capacity in your environment. You want to also look at what are the things that I need in order for me to accomplish this goal. And I need for it to be present in my environment, because if it's not there, then it means I have to go off and I have to get it, or I can't work on it now. It's going to be later because it's not in the environment where I need it to be. So we want to make sure that what we need is right there so that we can get it done. So if I'm going to study for this certification exam and the information that I need is back at the office, well, guess what? I can't get it accomplished because now I got to wait till the next day because I left it at the office and it's not at home. So we want to make sure that we have that. Oh, I see someone says that a gratitude journal would be something that they would put in their space to remind them of what they're working towards. Okay, great. So thinking about your tools, thinking about what condition your tools are in, because they've got to be in their best condition in order for you to go fast. And you got to make sure they're current, because if they're dated, then that's going to also slow you down. So you got a tool, but it isn't the right tool to help you go as fast as you can. So think about each one of these goals that you have and think about what tools you need in order for you to accomplish your goal. You might even want to, do some searching to find out what tools are available to help people, prepare for their certification, or what tools are available around if you're working on your degree, what tools are out there that can help you with your coursework, whatever it is that you are studying, etc. So start thinking about making sure you got the tools and they're in place with you. In my environment, for me, I need to have, a computer. It's one of the things that I need. I had an incident to occur that zapped out my computer, and of course, needless to say, I can't get anything done. To talk about goals not being accomplished. So I had to find a computer. And so that got to be to make sure that I got one that could really help me meet my needs. And you can see what I ended up picking out was one that could be a laptop and a tablet at the same time. And I just love it because now it can go everywhere and I can do multiple things, and it's a touch screen, and it's great. So it just facilitates my capacity to do things. So again, think about your tools and make sure that you have them in your environments. This one can go with me, home, work, wherever I go. I mean, I was at breakfast this morning with someone, And I had my tool with me, and I was able to quickly shoot a video and put it out there. So it has allowed me to be faster at getting my messaging out. So again, it's because of the platform that I have also on the tool that is a different platform than I've used before. So again, tools, making sure they're in your environment, can travel with you, be with you when you need them, etc., so that you can always be focused on your goals. Let's take a look at how you can get energy in your environment. Now, this one is interesting because a lot of times we don't realize that our environment needs to be set so that we can move as fast as we can because we have energy to do work. Now, I want you to think about all those different things. Like one of the things to think about is what kind of lighting do you need? If you don't have adequate lighting, then that's going to mean you're not going to be able to be focused and you're not going to get things done. You can't move as fast. I need sunshine. I need natural light. And so I need to be in places where there's a window. And so sometimes, I go to different places. I move about because it's not the best working place, depending upon what I'm trying to accomplish. What about privacy? Do you need privacy in order to be productive and get things done? What about noise level? Some people need it to be quiet. Other people need to have music. So it depends. So you've got to think about what is that's going to drive my my capacity again to move faster in this particular environment. Am I in an environment that I can refresh and recharge myself? Am I in an environment where I can get nourishment? This is really important. If you're in a place and you don't get the nourishment that you need, you're going to drag and you're just not going to get things done as fast as you can. So all of those things are things to actually think about when you're setting, because remember, we're going to set our environment and we're going to think about all the time, how do I make sure my environment is set today? And it might change from day to day how you set it in order to make sure you're going to be productive for that day. Here is an example of how my environment is set, my workspace is set. You see, people who know me know I love coffee. It gives me energy. I can get going with my coffee. So I have a Keurig right near my workstation so that I can actually get that coffee when I need it right away. And I don't have to go up anywhere around or about. It's just right there near me and I can make it happen. If I want to have privacy, I can close my doors and I can work and not be disturbed. I have my office set where I can, things that I need are organized in that space. So again, you want to set your environment, be intentional about it, your work environment and your home environment and any other space that you are going to be in. And then finally, I want you to think about how do you make sure you're efficient in your environment? And this really gets at organization. Now, I know for those people who feel that clutter is great and you know exactly where things are, well, you might, but it really is slowing you down and you're really not being as efficient as you could. So you want to make sure that you are able to easily access whatever it is that you need. You want to be able to access it. You want to be able to make sure that you can track things so that you know the status of things in your environment. So you don't want to run out of things. So let's just say I need to make sure that I'm tracking my supplies so that I'm not running out. The last thing we need is I've got to print something for a client and I don't have any paper. And now I've got to stop and I've got to go off to some store to get it and come back. Can you imagine the time that I have lost and I haven't been able to move along? So you want to just think about those kinds of things so that you've got tracking systems in place to make sure that everything that you're going to need, you always have it so that you can move as fast as you can towards achieving your goal. And then you need to have some rules in place so that when other people come into your environment, you can still stay focused. Here's an example. The other day I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and she was talking about her son-in-law who's writing a book. Oh, book. Person who's writing a book. Here we go. Writing a book. And he told his son, who is 9, he said, Dad's working on this book. And he said, one day Dad's going to have a book and my name is going to be on the book. And he showed him a book and said, this is what it's going to be like. But in order for Dad to have this book, Dad has to work on writing, and he has to spend some time every day just working on his book. And when Dad is working on his book, he has to, he doesn't have time to be able to talk. He won't be able to play at that time. We can play before Dad goes to work or after it. But when Dad's working on this book, Dad really has to be alone so that he can really focus and get his book written. So the little 9-year-old, believe it or not, got it and understood it because someone came over and wanted to disturb Dad. And he said, nope, can't disturb Dad. Dad's working on his book. And when Dad's working on his book, we have to let Dad be alone so that he can get his book written. So you want to make sure you have some rules so that other people don't just come in and disrupt you and get you off on their things, and that they know ahead of time that these are the rules. And you want to think about what rules might I need to put in place so that I can stay focused on achieving my goals in my environment so that I can move fast. Well, I have some rules and I, tend to share those in my environment. I have things set up so that when I want to rush out and I need a pad or something, it's all stacked up and I can get it and I can reach in and pull out a pen or a pencil. And then you can see on that little blackboard, you might not be able to see it, but it has some words there because once again, you can set your environment to remind you of all kinds of things that you need to focus on in order to move fast. And there are some words that remind me that I will. The ultimate thing is that I will do it. So again, you can mix and match and all kinds of things, but what is important is to go fast, set your environment. Okay, any questions or comments about setting your environment? If you do, chat them in. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about your environment. Can you improve it? Can you make it better so that you can go faster? Is one environment more problematic for you than the other? Are you better at home, staying focused on your goals, or work? Do you still make sure that you are reminded of your goal? So while you are thinking about your goals and your environment and setting your environment, let's go to best tip number 2. Now, number 2, it's all about relationships. You've heard that before, right? That you need to watch the people that are around you and they have all kinds of impact. People have showed the impact on money and all kinds of different things. Well, I'm getting ready to show you the impact on moving fast. And so there are certain people that you have to have around you so that you can go fast towards your goal. The first group of people are the people that I'm saying that need to be on your sideline. So those are the people that need to be beside you. And there are 5 people that you need to have beside you. The first one is a best buddy in my best language, better known as an accountability partner. A best encourager, a best cheerleader, a best challenger, and a best spirited person. So the most important one out of that list is right at the top. It's that accountability partner, that best buddy that is your accountability partner. My accountability partner is right here, right now, sitting right beside me, and that's my husband, and he's keeping track of things for me. He does that all the time. And I love it because We have a goal, and we need for our behavior to align with our goal. When our behavior is out of alignment, it means it's going to take us longer to get to the goal. So we need someone who's going to look at our behavior, see whether our behavior is matching what we're saying, and if it's not, they're checking us on it. Now, what's important about having a best buddy, it has to be somebody that you really trust, that you know they really love you and they care about you, because when they check you, you're not going to be excited about getting checked, but you're going to know that they're checking you because they really love you and they're supporting you in achieving your goal. You have to have an accountability partner, because there are a lot of times that our behaviors are out of alignment and we don't even recognize it. I mean, the favorite story that I tell often is the fact that when I had a goal to lose weight, and my husband knew this is the goal. And then here I was at 9:30 at night eating chocolate ice cream. And he had to say, "Hey, what time is it? What are you eating?" And I'm like, "Chocolate ice cream. What do you think?" And he's like, "Well, that's not going to help you achieve your goal." And, I didn't like hearing that, but right, I wasn't going to achieve my goal. What I love about an accountability partner is there's no excuses. They don't allow you to give excuses like, "Well, it's just tonight." Well, no, it's not just tonight. If you want your goal and you want to achieve it, just getting off track tonight means it's taking you longer to get to your goal. So letting you see that right away is going to make sure that you're not going to now lose, more time staying off track. So no excuses. They help you to stay focused on what you will do, so that they're constantly helping you to stay focused. Okay, so now tell me what you're doing. What are you doing? What do you need to do towards that goal, so that you're focusing on those things? And that person is somebody that you check in. They're going to check on you periodically to make sure that you are indeed doing what you need to do to get to your goals. Got it? Accountability partner, absolutely a must. Number one thing, gotta have accountability partner. So the person who's writing the book, who's going to be your accountability partner? What's the date that you're going to get that book done? Is that book going to get done by the end of the year? If it is, then who's going to be the person that's going to stay on it? It's going to make sure, checking on you, making sure. When you're going to get that certification done? When are you going to get that master's degree completed? What's the date? What's the time? So that accountability partner is staying on it with you, making sure that you are on it, moving as fast as you can towards your goal. Okay, well, let's look at the next one. The next person that you must have beside you. You gotta have the encourager. Oh my gosh, this one is critical, because as you are trying to get that degree, there is stuff that is going to happen, and you need someone that is going to be there, that is going to encourage you. An encourager is a person who loves you unconditionally. When stuff happens, they are right there, right? Telling you it's going to be okay. They've come to make sure it's going to be okay. They're encouraging you to make mistakes. They're not the person that wants you to just always do everything perfectly, because the encourager knows that what's important is that you learn from your mistake. The encourager is the person that's going to, say, "Hey, take that chance." It's not going to be the person like, "Oh, no, you shouldn't try that. It's not going to work." No, the encourager recognizes you've got to take calculated risks. And so they're going to encourage you to do that. This one is so important. My number one encourager was my mother. And when my mother passed, I'd had her for 48 years encouraging me. And then she was gone. And I started moving slower. I didn't even realize that with that person out of my sideline, that I started moving slower. I loved it. My pastor said on Sunday that we have to encourage ourselves. And so this starts first with us encouraging ourselves. I didn't even know how to do that well, because I'd always had all this great external encouragement, and I had to learn. So you have to encourage yourself, and then you want to have somebody else that can encourage you as well. You need both to go fast. So look for an encourager. Number 3, you got to have a cheerleader. Yay! You got to have somebody that's always cheering you on, telling you can do it, go girl, and making you feel good. I had, he's maybe on tonight. One of my mentors, it was this morning, I woke up, I looked out on Facebook, and my mentee said, hey, you need to sign up for this webinar. My mentor is doing it tonight. And I smiled because they were cheering me on. I had someone else to, say, hey, I got something for you. And it was a little gift, and it brought a big smile to my face. So you need cheerleaders by your side, because that gives you that pick up and go, so that you will keep going and you won't pause and miss a beat. So cheerleaders are important. Got to have a challenger. You cannot go fast without having somebody beside you that is going to ask you a lot of questions. I mean, a person could fill more than one spot. My husband can be the challenger. When I say I want to go to the moon, when are you going to go? How are you going to go? What are you going to take? How much is it going to cost? That's what you need, because it's going to help you to get clarity. Clarity means you can what? Go fast. If I hadn't thought about I needed that, I'll get somewhere and I don't have what I need. And now I've lost time. I got to go back and I got to get it. So you need a challenger. You need someone who helps you to see, here are the pros, here are the cons. At the end of the day, the challenger should cause you to sit back, reflect, and make your best choice. And so you need a challenger to go fast. You need a supporter. You need somebody, and I think he's online, who sent me an email this morning and said, hey, Dr. Pat, do you need any help? I want to help you. That's a supporter, somebody who's available, who's helping you, who wants to make sure they pull you over the line so that you can achieve your goals. Whatever they have, they want to share it with you and support you. If they've got a gift, they want to help you with that gift. So you need a supporter, because we can't do it alone. And we have to have people who will really support us, that when it's down, you got somebody that is going to come to your rescue and support you in getting it done. Okay, so we've got to have a supporter. And the last person by your side that you have to have, and this is certainly not the last, but in this category, is a person who can help you make sure that you are ministering to your spirit. And this is the person who will pray with you, who will praise with you, who will meditate with you. This is important. You don't want to do this by yourself. There is somebody, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you and I together lock arms and pray about this, so that I can really move forward. So these are the people by your side. Absolutely, you must have. So tonight, get your list, look at it, put the names down, see whether or not you have people that fit these groups. If not, I want you to make sure that you go and get somebody to be in this spot, so that you got your sideline, because that's going to help you to go fast. All those positions have to be filled. And you might have one person doing multiple, but it's got to be all of those areas is going to make you go fast. Now, here is where you go your fastest. And this is your upline. This is who's going to pull you up. And this is absolutely the most important area. You have to have a mentor or a coach. No matter where you are in life, you need this. You need somebody who's already been where you want to go, so that they can help you to get there. It's going to mean you're going to get there much faster. And in your workplace, you want to have a sponsor. So let's take a look real quick at these two. The mentor is going to, you want to write a book. So you need somebody who's already written a book, because they're going to be able to tell you, here are the things that you need to think about. Here's how you can do it. Here are the things that you need to avoid, etc. So you want guidance, so you can get to that destination. No need in bumping into things that you don't need to bump into. So somebody that's been there. You want somebody that can give you constructive feedback. So not just that you did a good job, but here are the things that you did well. Here's how you could improve on this. Here specifically the things that you can do. And of course, this mentor coach or coach, mentor and coach can connect you with networks and resources. And that helps you to go fast again, because you're going to need those things. Now, I wanted to pull this up. I'm going to see if I can pull this real fast. I got this just yesterday, and it was so perfect because it's about speed. So I was at a conference recently, and someone brought over a young lady who's working on her doctorate, and she needed to interview some people in order to get this paper done. And so she asked me and another friend if we could meet with her. And so we did. We found some time, we met. She sent this yesterday. Good evening. I just wanted to follow up to let you know, before I had the opportunity to meet you at the conference, I was really struggling with my assignment for class. But following the 45 minutes I spent with the two of you, I was challenged with so many new concepts and insights and able to return home, write a 10-page paper from our encounter in which I received an A. Fast. She was struggling. She was having problems. Got somebody who's already been there, done that. Look, that girl got it done and she got an A. So you want to look for somebody that can help you that way. With regard to your job, this is critical. You want to move up in an organization, you got to find a career champion. You got to find somebody in the workplace that's going to champion you. And that person then is going to be the person that, you know, how you want to get more money and you want to go to a new promotion. Well, that's the person that's going to help make that happen for you and with you. That's the person that's going to say, hey, Dr. Pat's the person for that. They're going to give you the endorsement that you need in the workplace. They're going to give you guidance in the workplace. So you can't just wander along in the workplace. You want to wander and find yourself a sponsor so that you can go fast and get where you need to go in that workplace. And they can help you to move out into the profession in other places. Tip number 2, all about relationships. Got to get those 5 sidelines and you got to find an upline so that you can go fast. And the last best tip is all about you. Now, it is so easy to take care of everybody else and say, you know, just don't take care of yourself. But if you're going to go fast, you have got to make sure that you take care of you. That's where balance comes in. And so what I want you to do is to create some me time rules, some me time. Now, I'm going to share with you mine. You might want to use mine and you might want to create your own, but this gives you the idea. Here's my first me time rule is to set aside time to meditate and pray. So first thing in the morning when I get up, that's my me time. I set it up. This is when I'm going to meditate and pray. This is it. This is the time. And every day I'm going to get up and that's what I'm going to do because I'm nourishing my spirit first before I go off into the world and into anything else. My other me time rule you can see there is it's all about, I got to make sure that I'm stretching and moving about, that I'm eating the right things, and I'm drinking water. So I set up 4 15-minute breaks. So every day I have at least 4 breaks. That's 15 minutes. And during those 15 minutes, those are the things that I do. Every 15-minute break, I drink some water because, you know, I don't get enough water and I want to make sure that I stay hydrated so I can have energy. In 15 minutes, I might decide I'm going to stretch for this 15 minutes. Another 15 minutes, I might decide I'm just going to walk around a few times, get my circulation going, helps me to stay alert so I can get things done. So 15-minute breaks, thinking about ways that you can do those things to stay balanced. Another me time rule for me is every day, let's just let go of the boundaries. Let me just dream. I'm going to spend 15 minutes and I'm going to just dream about what I want to accomplish, what life is going to be when I'm, really helping everybody around the world live their best life. So I just let go and just dream what that would be like. So you want to do that because that gets your mind, it frees your mind up to think, and you're not worrying about, well, this isn't happening or that's not happening. You're allowing yourself to stretch. At the end of the day, my end of the day is I want to go to bed thinking first about what were some of the good things that happened today? What do I have to be grateful for? So that's on my mind. I'm expressing gratitude for my day. The other thing that I want to make sure that we talk about is, let me just see, I'm trying to pull that up. It's my once a week fun time. So you want to think about that. What's your once a week? What's the thing that personally it's you, it's the thing that you like to do, that you want to do. So it might be, for me, every now and then, it might be that I want to soak in my hot tub. That might be my fun time. Or I might want to watch something that's a romantic movie on TV, right, hubby? That's my fun time. So you got it. Me time rules. So when we focus on me's taken care of, I can go faster. So that's the 3 best tips. Well, here's the bottom line. Remember, each of you have a unique calling. And because you have this unique calling, then you want to make sure that you are making your time count, right? There's an urgency to your calling, and time matters. While there's 6 influencers impacting your speed, remember, you can control them. There are things that you can do. Don't let them just control you. Make sure you're controlling them. And you've got some tips now that you can actually take so that you can use them and watch yourself accelerate. So it's up to you. I hope you will choose to get in control and take charge and start going faster. Well, those are the tips. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, type them in. I'd be glad to respond to them now. I want you to know that I am focused on building this best life community. And if you haven't joined, I hope you will join it. There's a link there that you can go to become a part of the community. I'm going to be really launching big time in October. So stay tuned. This is a virtual community. And that means that, we get a chance to connect. We don't have to be face to face, but guess what? There are going to be times when I'm going to have some best events. And I'm really excited because I'm planning my first Best Fast event to be in 2020 in October in the place where speed began, Daytona Beach. So you don't want to miss it. You're going to want to stay in tune to hear about all that. I do want to make you aware of my book. It's called Best Fast Stories. And if you haven't gotten it, then I'm going to suggest that you get it and you read it. It's a quick read. It's an easy read. You don't have to go through it all at one time. Just pick an influencer that you're interested in. Look at that influencer. I have a story that I tell about me, and I give you some things to think about that relate to that influencer. Because the goal here is to get in charge of all these influencers because they are definitely impacting your speed. And I want to invite you to also take advantage of an offer to spend 30 minutes with me. And it's free to talk about your speed and getting your goals accomplished faster. So if you go and, message me, you can also, you'll able to sign up. I have it already on a calendar that will let you know when I'm available. We don't even have to talk. You can just click on and set it up for 30 minutes. And also for people who do take advantage of this 30-minute offer, anytime in the future, if I am, you decide you want to get some coaching from me, then you get a 10% discount. So I hope that tonight you've gotten something that you can take away that will really help you to start moving faster towards your goals. and recognizing that at the end of the day, you are in charge of your speed. And so you got to get with it here. Those influencers, get in control of them. Do some things to make sure that you are determining how fast you're going towards your goals. I look forward to hearing from you. So make sure you let me know when you try some of these things and when you notice that all of a sudden you are getting things done faster. So have a great evening. Enjoy the holiday. And I hope I'll see you again on another B.E.S.T webinar. Good night.